Today is the letter U. This is an umbrella bird. I had never ever heard of an umbrella bird until I started doing these projects with my students. And you will definitely want to check out the extra video that I have for you to see an actual real umbrella bird. They're called umbrella birds because they have these funny plumes that are over their heads, kind of like the quail. Remember the quail had that little plume that went the other way? But they have this plume or crest that goes over their head that looks like an umbrella. Okay, usual supplies, scissors, trash tray, today a black crayon, and our glue. Here are the pieces that should be in your bag. We have lots of black pieces, so let's not get confused, and two really small pieces. Okay, and we have this large green piece also. So our first two pieces that we're going to be using, actually, not the first two. The first piece we're going to use is this big, large green one, and then after that we're going to use the largest black rectangle and then the black square. But we're going to focus on this first, but I'm going to keep these on my paper. Before I actually begin, I'm going to remind you that I have already glued my U's in the upper right hand corner, and I glued my words at the bottom. This says, umbrella birds live in the treetops of tropical forests. They eat fruit and insects. So we probably won't find any umbrella birds here in the United States. Okay, so I'm going to leave these two right up here, and I am going to start with this. So now it says that they live up in the treetops. Let's fold this in half. So that means they probably live in the rainforest. And since they live in the treetops, these are going to be our leaves for the trees. And we are going to wiggly cut all around all the sides of this folded green paper. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Hopefully I didn't take that out of the picture. So I have two. Now you'll notice they're exactly the same. So what I'm going to do, so it doesn't look like I just cut them out exactly the same, I'm going to change one of them. I'm going to turn it just slightly a different direction, so maybe it looks like they're not exactly the same. Okay, then they are going to get glued down here at the very bottom of, and just right above the words. And I'm going to overlap them slightly, maybe a little crooked, so you can actually tell that there is two leaves there and not just one big blob of a leaf. Okay, so the next piece we're going to use is the largest black rectangle that I have right here on my paper. And then this one. This is the body, this is the head. Don't need the head yet. So I'm going to take the body, get my trash tray, cut all four corners, and then magic cut those. Like so. Okay, I'm going to glue this in a diagonal position like that. Put some glue dots. Right like that. Flip that over and glue it on a diagonal position in the middle. Okay, black square. Cut all four corners. Magic cut that. Remember, this is his head. Okay. Some glue dots. Turn that over, glue it on top of the body So it doesn't have to go under the body, it's going to go on top of the body. Okay, now, we're not going to worry about the smaller black pieces. So the next two pieces we're going to use are these, kind of a big one and then a smaller fat one. Okay, this one is the first one we're going to use. This is the second one. This is the tail. These are the wings. I'm going to set the wings down. We'll do those next. But now I'm going to make the tail. Okay, I'm going to hold the tail in a vertical position. And I'm going to cut only the top two corners off. But I'm not going to cut them off like the regular way we cut to make circles and ovals. I am going to cut it kind of, not a house cut, but kind of a skinny cut. So I'm going to go part way down the side like this, and then I'm going to turn my scissors so it cuts a skinny triangle. Okay, then I'm going to flip the paper over, keeping it in a vertical position, and I'm going to go down the side, the long side of the rectangle, and now I'm going to turn my scissors and cut it. So now I have this kind of funny long cuts. Okay, now I have this small part here. I'm going to hold the small part, turn that around, and now I'm going to wavy cut this side here so it kind of looks like feathers, you know, uneven feathers for his tail. Okay, this is his tail. This is going to get glue dots, and I am going to glue it and slide it so it goes under his body. Okay, and it's glued the opposite side of the head. Okay, his wings, right here, the wings. Kind of similar. Two wings, so we're going to cut both two wings at the same time. So you can fold that in half. I am going to hold this in a vertical position, and I'm actually going to hold, I'm going to hold the fold. It doesn't really matter which side. I just think it's easier to hold the fold and do the two cuts up here. Now, these are also going to be kind of like the tail. I'm not going to cut them off like I usually cut them off to make ovals and rectangles. I'm going to come a little ways down and cut kind of long, skinny triangles off. So I'm going to come a little ways down and cut long, skinny triangles. Okay, now I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to hold the area that I just cut, and now I'm going to wavy cut across both sides, and this is where the fold was. So now I have automatically cut two wings. Move my trash tray. Okay, one wing is going to go on each side of his body. I'm going to be sliding, this wing is going to go under his body. So I'm going to put some glue dots, and then I'm going to slide this wing under his body, and I'm going to face it kind of towards the back of his body, towards his tail. This wing is going to go on top. It's going to be overlapped on top of his body, and I'm going to put glue dots like so. And once again, I'm going to face it back towards the tail, like that. Oh, I don't want that there, so I'm going to, yeah, there we go. Turn it like that. Okay, our last four pieces. We have the large fat black, the skinny black. We have our small gray and our small gray square. Okay? So the next piece we're going to use is the largest of the two black rectangles. This is going to be that crest or plume on top of his head. Okay, so to cut this, we're going to hold it in a horizontal position, like a window, not a door. I am only going to cut the top two corners, and I'm actually going to come down kind of far on this side and cut it kind of big. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here on this one. So that's what it looks like now. I'm going to magic cut all these little points And voila, I have my piece that looks kind of like a hill. I'm going to glue this on top of his head. So it looks like this is going to be his plume or his umbrella. Okay, and I'm going to glue that so it's sticking out over the top. Okay, the next piece we're going to use is the small gray square. This is his eye. We're going to cut all four corners. Cut the corners very small. These are always so tricky because they are so small. Now you're going to magic cut all of those little points. I almost need my glasses on to see these little points. They're so small. Okay, a little dab of glue in the middle. Glue that where his eye should be. Okay, the next piece we're going to do is the gray rectangle. This is his beak. Okay, we are going to hold it in a horizontal position, and we're going to cut off the top two corners. Not too big, not too small, just cut off the top two corners, okay, and then magic cut that. Okay, now I'm going to turn that over so I'm holding the curved part. And now I'm going to do our famous smile cut, which I'm going to hold it in a vertical position because it's easier for me to smile cut. So remember a smile cut, and I'm going from this corner and I want to come out this corner. So remember a smile cut goes in, up, and out. Okay? So it looks kind of like a gray banana. Okay, so that's his beak. So I want his beak to look like this, so I am going to turn it over to add my glue. Add glue in two spots, and then when I put his beak on, I am going to slide it under his head, and it doesn't seem to want to go under his head. There, so I lifted up his head, and now I have his beak coming out. Kind of a funny beak, isn't it? Okay, our last piece. This bird has a wattle. Do you remember another bird that has a wattle? Well, if you were thinking about a turkey or a chicken, you're right. Turkeys and chickens both have wattles. And this umbrella bird has a very large wattle. So I'm going to get my trash tray back, scissors. I'm going to cut all four corners of this long skinny rectangle. I am going to magic cut all of those little points so I don't have funny corners on my for my bird. Okay. The wattle, if you remember a chicken or a turkey, is underneath their beak. I'm going to glue the wattle right underneath, sticking out, and it looks really funny. It's very large. Okay, so the last thing you're going to do is very easy. You're just going to color a black dot for his eye. Okay, so done with our umbrella bird, except for the very last thing. Write your name on the back so I will know it is yours. Okay, umbrella birds, bye-bye.